Anyone who has ever worked at the Matthew Shepard Foundation is familiar with the Judy Shepard hug. It's actually quite difficult to describe, but you know it when you see it. People are literally changed by her presence, experiencing a sense of acceptance, love, and strength that they may not have known they needed. The hug is what makes the Matthew Shepard Foundation different from all other LGBTQ+ organizations. It is her superpower.
I think there's a hug, a good hug, a really good hug, and then there's the category of a Judy hug. I think one of the most effective ways we can erase hate is by communicating love. And nothing in the world does that quite as effectively as a hug from Judy.
She's so utterly approachable, and everyone who meets her walks away knowing that they have had a hug from Judy Shepard. Makes them feel very special.
I was immediately struck by her kindness, her warmth, her open-heartedness, and her love.
I remember seeing the look on her face when young people would come up to her and just hug her spontaneously because their parents wouldn't. And adults who, for the same reason, wanted to hug her because their families had not accepted them being LGBTQ. I was blessed to have an accepting family, but a hug from Judy is like none other.
I can't imagine a world without hugs like hers, whether it's the real life ones, which I love getting, or it's the metaphorical ones that she has provided for our entire community, and for so many people that she will never know, whose lives she touched.
Her first hug was like her last hug, which is something Judy is, and that's consistent. They feel like warmth and love, but they say, I see you. I accept you.
She spoils me. For so many years, since the very first Bear to Make a Difference event on JR's second floor, from receiving the award named after our mutual friend Dennis Doherty, from introducing Judy to my mom, Judy spoils me with a hug every single year.
The best kind of Judy hug is when she hugs you real tight and then she whispers something kind of funny in your ear. It makes you laugh. And it's usually something unexpected, and to me, those are the best hugs.
I'll never forget the first time I was in the presence of Judy. It was in the Sewell Ballroom for the premiere of Matt Shepard Is a Friend of Mine in Denver. The speech that Judy gave that night became a defining moment in Matt's story for me.
I remember that amazing, important day in my life when I met Judy Shepard.
I'll never forget the first time I met Judy.
25 years ago. It seems like yesterday that I first met Judy.
I definitely remember the first time I met Judy, sometime in the early 2000s. And the first thing she said was, I'm just a mom. And I started to cry.
I remember the first time I met Judy, I was working as a staffer in the Obama White House. And we were getting ready for an event to commemorate the 5th anniversary of the Matthew Shepard and James Byrd Jr. Hate Crimes Prevention Act. And before we went in there, Judy looked over at me and she smiled and she said, I'm going into that room and I'm going to tell those people to do their job. And I'm going to show them what happens when they don't. And that is exactly what she did. She spoke truth to power in a way that showed strength and above all else, love.
I had this big question I wanted to ask them about writing a big musical piece for their son. If we talked, she seemed quiet for several minutes. And then I decided I needed to share a poem by Hafiz called In Need of Breath, about what I feel like Matt's spirit and soul would have sung that night when he was alone. She took the paper, unfolded it, read it. I felt her tears. We all of a sudden had a very sacred connection. She said, I want you to do this piece. It was just that simple.
I was still in college and had just seen the Laramie Project months before. And I had the honor of meeting her. I was very nervous and she gave me a big hug, and her hug was everything I didn't know that I needed. Meeting her was
incredibly profound.
I was walking out of the hall late into the evening when I noticed Judy sitting in the corner with her feet propped up. Clearly she was tired, but I took a chance and went over and introduced myself. Within seconds, she jumped up, wrapped her arms around me, and gave me a hug that was filled with love.
It was 2001 and hate crimes were popping up on campuses all over. And I even have the poster that was hanging on the wall with your autograph, because not only did I get to meet you after, but you also gave me an incredible hug.
After Judy's talk, I went backstage and introduced myself and told her that I was the University of Wyoming's keynote speaker for their Gay Awareness Week in 1998. And as soon as she heard that, she opened her arms and gave me one of those famous Judy hugs.
And I've experienced the comfort of a hug from Judy innumerable times over the years. But there's one hug, however, that still means the most to me. Judy's hug to welcome me on the board and to express her trust in me continued to inspire my work with her and Dennis to this day.
And what I remember most is about what she said. In order to change hearts and minds, you have to tell your story. Well, it took me 4 more years, but Matt's story and Judy's words gave me the courage to come out.
But one thing I do know is I think she set the Guinness Book of World Records for the hugs that she has given to countless strangers, acquaintances, and everyone she meets.
Judy is the best example of what we can be as humans and what we can be as members of civil society.
She is an incredible person and has been there for so many folks, has been the fiercest ally that we could have ever imagined.
I often say that doing this work, I go to the most beautiful places and I meet the most extraordinary people for the worst reasons. Judy and Dennis and Logan and the entire Matthew Shepard Foundation family are probably the biggest example of that.
I think about what an advocate we have in somebody who has taken such tragedy in their life and made it into a fire worth fighting for. And so in that moment, I felt all of that. My first hug with Judy, and I'll never forget it.
I've seen her walk into rooms where people are clearly in pain. And when she gives someone a hug, she is not only sharing love and sharing strength, she is building power. And she continues to do that to this day.
Getting that Judy hug is what really made me think that if they can go through all of this every single day for all these decades, that I need to do more. And then if it wasn't for that hug, my book, Our Gay History in 50 States, never would have happened.
She has truly changed the world with the work she has done, and she has absolutely changed my life, and for that, I will always be grateful.
She has been and continues to be such a force for good and for positiveness and for making this world the world that we all know it needs to be.
Keep up those hugs. You make the world a better place to live in.
Congratulations and thank you from the bottom of my heart and the hearts of so many queer people and our allies. You've made the world a better place. You will continue to do that, which we need now more than ever.
Thank you, Judy, for all you've done for me and for so many others.
You are badass, Judy. I love you. I see you. And I am so glad you are my friend.
Thank you, Judy, for that trust and for that very special hug.
Thank you, Judy, for sharing so much of yourself with all of us. We love you very much.
Love you, Judy.
Love you, Judy. Thank you so much for everything you've done for us, for me, and for the world.
I love you, Judy.
Thank you so much, Judy. Love you and all the work that the Matthew Shepard Foundation does.
It's a very special memory, and I hope for all my days, Judy will be feeling my hugs, my gratitude, my love.
There are plenty of galas doing good work, but once a year, I get to get a hug from Judy. That's my inspiration to move forward and keep doing good work and add one more teddy bear to my collection.
Dear Judy, on behalf of the 40-something gay boys around the world and marginalized and threatened people everywhere, we love you. And we put our arms around you today and every day. We will forever honor and memorialize Matt while we hold you close.